Chloe. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I would love to ask you about our journey together so far. We met in 2015. We recently restarted working together again, about a few months ago. And maybe you can start by telling us a little bit of that journey that we've had together so far, up till now.
Yes, so we've had quite a bit of a journey together. We've worked together for quite some time with a couple of breaks in between. As you mentioned, we started working together in 2015. I was 17 years old, so very young. I was a junior at that time, doing the junior championships. And originally I reached out to you because to manage my stress level a little bit more. I was a young kid, I was trying to do the championships. It came with a lot of pressure. So that's originally why we reached out, to try to manage my stress levels a little bit, because I was struggling with that, and you played a huge role in that to help me manage it a little bit more, which I'm very grateful for. That was our first journey together. Then we had a little bit of a break, because I think when you're that young also, life didn't really happen yet, and everything's pretty nice and easy, not too many things to worry about. As I grew older, I was really trying to make a career for myself and at the top sport when I was turning 18, 19 years old, which was also obviously a hell of a journey as a young rider. Then we didn't work together for a while, and I reached out to you again in 2020, was it 2018? Yes, 2018, I believe.
I wouldn't know actually,
yes.
But yes,
2018.
Right.
Because in 2018 I had my big accident, my bad fall in Rome, and I broke my neck and I had to have surgery. And then I reached out to you again, because that for me was one of the most difficult journeys in my life, especially in the sport and mentally. It was a very difficult time for me. I was very scared on the horse, and that's when I reached out to you to help me overcome my fear, because we had acknowledged after a while that I was scared on the horse. Everything came from fear. I was not confident at all, and we worked a really long time on that. It was a really long journey with a lot of ups and downs, and for that I'm forever grateful to have worked for you in that time, because you really made a huge change for me, and I actually got back on track way faster than I thought I would ever. I got to the top level again within no time because of you, so I'm very, very grateful for that. I think the biggest lesson there that we learned was to acknowledge what was there, to acknowledge that I was scared, to acknowledge that it was coming from fear and not being confident, and then we could do the work and we could work on it. That's for me the most valuable lesson I've learned then. Then we took another break, believe it or not. I think that it was the part for me that played a role in that break was obviously your career grew. You grew as a mental coach. You had a lot more experience. I think you were a different coach back then than you are now. So obviously with that came also a difference in investment, and because I was still young and dependent of my father, he couldn't really believe, or he didn't really want to put the investment for my mental health, for my sportive career. For him it didn't really make much sense, which I'm young, I'm dependent of my father, that's fine. And then I let it sit for a moment, and obviously things have changed. I'm a grown-up woman now. I make my own living, I make my own decisions, and this is to the point where I came that for me this was an investment I wanted to make for myself. So that's actually when we started working again. It's been 3 months, 4 months now?
I think so,
3
something
months.
like that. Yeah, exactly, I think. That's really helpful, just walking through that. It has been really a journey. And I think also the breaks are important. You know, sometimes just doing the work on your own, that too is helpful. And sometimes struggling with stuff is also part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
And yet, okay, at some point, like you said, 4 months ago or so, I reached out again just to check in, curious, how are you doing? And yeah, we had a phone call and you described a little bit like, you know, I thought from the outside, things were looking amazing. You know, looking at your Instagram, I thought, well, she's thriving, you know, she's out there killing it. But then we had that call and, you know, it turned out that internally there was a lot more going on. Do you want to maybe describe a little bit, what was life like for you, mentally, writing-wise, showing-wise, in 2024 up to our conversation?
Yeah. So the past couple of years, I think I have to start, a couple of years back, I was struggling a lot. I was changing a lot of trainers. I was a bit in between trainers. Then I had no trainer for a while. I was struggling to find one. I was obviously still competing at the 5-star level, as I've been doing since I was 18 years old. Change of horses. All of that accumulated a little bit to me feeling very insecure. As you said, of the outside, everything looked great. Yeah, because my results were still there. It wasn't going horribly, but within myself, I could feel there was a kind of a void. There was something missing. And that's what I also told you when you reached out to me again a couple months ago. I told you, everything's going well, but I feel like I'm missing the last part to be fully present at the top level. I always have this story that I'm not good enough to reach the top level, and I've had results. I here and there I have some results. I ride at the 5-star level, but I wasn't fully happy with myself. Because for me there was still a part missing, and the fact that I've changed so much trainers over the past few years, I was just insecure and I was always looking a little bit for guidance left and right, so I was questioning a lot of things in my head, asking questions to a lot of different people, and I had a lot of different stories, and I was just coming from a place of insecurity, so I wasn't striving at my full potential. Things were going all right, but I told you when you reached out to me that I've been missing that last push for me to really thrive at the top level.
I think that really resonates with a lot of people, you know, that feeling internally insecure and as a result asking the external world for guidance and feeling like you have to find that in other people. And also what we've discovered recently is in our horses, right? Finding that confidence in our horses so we can feel confident. How was that impacting you at the shows and in the ring?
Obviously, I came from a place of insecurity. A lot of the times that I went in the ring with a kind of nervous feeling, which it's good to feel nervous. You have to feel nervous if you compete at the big level, but I was coming from a nervous place of insecurity, not a nervous place of I really want to do good, like, you know, that little adrenaline rush. It was more of I just hope I don't mess it up. I hope I have the right plan. I was coming from really a place of insecurity before I stepped into the ring, and then if the situation changed that wasn't in my plan, or because I'm quite the perfectionist, as obviously you know, if the situation didn't come to me the way I planned it, then I went into a little bit of a panic mode, and you could see that in my riding a lot. And you know, some rounds were obviously a lot better than others, but every time that insecurity overshadowed me a little bit. So yeah, that's obviously been very hard the past few years.
Yeah, really helpful to describe that. Okay, so we had that conversation. You already knew, like, okay, you know, there's going to be that investment there. you decided to go for it and to really step into that and work on that part of you. Maybe, I know it's only been 4 months now since we restarted, but what are some of the important lessons that you've learned so far?
I mean, there's many important lessons. One that's really helped me a lot is to commit to whatever you set your mind to. Obviously, I want to reach my goal, and I will do everything that is needed to reach that goal, but I have to commit to every step of the way. That's the most important lesson I've learned, is to commit, but to keep coming from a certain lightness, to not put that heavy pressure on myself. That for me is very, very valuable, and I take it with me every day. With everything I do, I commit to it 100%. And also I let go of the results. I'm not constantly thinking of, okay, I have to get this result, or I really want to get be competitive in this class and get this result. No, I'm really focusing on having a connection with my horse, on committing to what I have to do, and keeping a certain lightness in all of it. And I feel like that for me has helped me to put the results like on the side and not look at them, and just to really focus on what I have to do, what's required from me. And yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun doing it also. Keeping it fun, making sure my horses are enjoying the process. Like I said, connecting with my horses. For me, there you've helped me a lot also, and I really am I have a lot of different horses, as many people know. Like I have 10 or more and a lot of different horses, and sometimes it's hard to really tune in with the horses because you have so many and you're busy, but you really made me take my time and connect with each and every one of them, feel that special connection, and just try to keep it light for them, try to keep it enjoyable for them. To combine that with the competitive part of the sport it's a great feeling. And if you can have, I don't have it fully figured out completely. I mean, there's still so much I have to learn, but I'm already enjoying the process a lot, and I can feel already a big difference in doing the process. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
Great. So actually what I hear you say is, by committing to the process, and yes, you commit to the goals as well, but in that your focus is really a commitment to the process and what you need to do on the horse. From rhythm, right? I don't know, you didn't mention it, but I know that's obviously something that we work on, that commitment to really keeping that rhythm. It's very specific, but it's really important to make it specific, right? And also who you need to be in the ring. Are you going to show up from that careful mode of like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work out, or are you going to say, okay, all I need to do is commit to this rhythm, and that's it. In addition to that, doing that from lightness and really committing also to the enjoyment for yourself and for your horses, combining that together, which sometimes can almost seem counterintuitive, right? Either you're super committed to the process, and often people think when we talk about commitment that it's about working harder. And yet what often is the case is it's actually about going a little deeper, not necessarily more, but it's just going deeper with actually changing what you know into the doing that, right? We all know that it's more helpful to enjoy. You knew that already. We discussed that in the past, right? We all know that being focused on the process is important. However, really shifting from knowing it to actually also really applying it, right? Moment to moment. Just kind of translating or specifying a little bit what you said. Great. Now, what is all this? I mean, it's only been 4 months, but what has this resulted in terms of actual results at the ring, but also, like you already mentioned, the connection with your horses?
I mean, like I've mentioned before, we haven't really been working together for a long time. It's been like 3-4 months, but that time has been very precious. I really enjoyed every moment of it, and you can also see a difference in my results already. And I haven't been chasing the results. I've just been trying to, like you mentioned, and that I should have mentioned, but there is so much I wanted to talk about. My biggest also improvement with you was that I can acknowledge in what inner stance I am at any moment of the day, and I'm in control, and I can decide I acknowledge it, and then I shift the inner stance, and I get away from that careful mode, and I take control over my own situations. That's the most important thing I've learned. And like I said, I haven't been focusing on the results, and they've just been there.
As a result of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been there in California, for example. In December, I won a 5-star class, which I haven't won a 5-star class in a long time, and I had a few really good results that really motivated me to end the season on a high. And then I've just started my season here, and last week I went to Ocala, and I've had one of the best weeks also I've had in a long time. My horses feel really great, really happy. I feel great. I feel happy. I come from a much lighter place. I'm enjoying the sport in a different way. I'm not being so harsh on myself. I'm really committing to the process, and I'm really enjoying it. So.
Amazing, yeah. I remember one of our last conversations was about, you had a Christmas break, obviously. The horses stayed here from California to Florida. You went back home to Belgium. You had another set of horses there in Spain. However, coming back here and going straight into the ring literally after a few days, reconnecting with the horses here, your first instinct was maybe to, okay, let's take it easy, let's get into it, like in a comfortable way, which is something that I'm mentioning it because many of my clients have that intention to want to give the horses a good ride and to be fair on them and not straight away fly in there and put too much pressure on results. However, what we discussed was actually, can you make every round count and really, again, be mindful of not getting in that careful mode and staying committed to being making sure that every round is powerful. You learn something, or you're actually achieving a certain result or a goal. And at the same time, be very in tune with the horses, be very aware or making sure the horses are also enjoying that job. So it's finding that balance between both, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just mentioning it because I think often people think that it's one or the other, right? And it's not fair on the horses to straight away go for it. And yet, when we really connect with the horses and we're really there, and we're really having that intention first and foremost for the horse to enjoy the job, we can actually do better in results as well.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. When I had a talk with you just before coming here, I told you I've had a bit of a break with my good horses, and I was also going a little bit in careful mode, which we acknowledged, obviously, because I told Annette I told you I was gonna just have a nice few rounds in Ocala, get my horses going for the rest of the season, and careful mode. I was going in careful mode, and then it was really helpful for you to say, you have to keep challenging yourself from this powerful inner stance. So obviously you can keep things light and you don't have to put all the pressure on yourself, but you have to keep challenging yourself, which I did. I completely agreed with everything you said, made sense, but I was like, I don't know why I went into careful mode again for a second, but I'm like, obviously I have to keep challenging myself. The horses that are over there are also my best horses. I know them. I have a special connection with them, so I just have to take the time to get there, to connect with them again, see how they feel, and then just make sure that every round is fun, and it's fun to challenge myself also with the horses that I know by heart. So that's basically what I did. I challenged myself all week. I had a lot of fun with my horses. They enjoyed it because they were jumping fabulous all week. So yeah, that turned out to be the right way of thinking for that week, to completely acknowledge the careful mode, be aware of it, and shift straight away. Keep challenging myself from that powerful inner stance.
Yeah,
so,
amazing. Well, I can't wait to see what else we're going to create.
Yes.
And most importantly, what you're going to achieve. Thank you very much for this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.